If you have a desire, it means the reality where that desire is fulfilled already exists. Whatever you desire, that reality is already real. There is a timeline where it is already happening. There is a version of life where you already have it. You wouldn't carry the desire if you were incapable of manifesting it. The desire is not a question. The desire is a proof that the reality is already touching you. You are God, pretending not to be God. We agreed to forget who we were so we could remember. That's the game we signed up for. And the remembering, it's what we are here to do. The breaking is not punishment. The breaking is the universe expanding your capacity to hold what you asked for, to receive what you're asking for. The version of you who couldn't hold it has to be willing to die. The old identity has to dissolve. The breaking is the universe expanding your capacity, and it's also the death of who you used to be. They carried wounds from their parents, and they passed down what was passed down to them. That's what wounded children do. They raise wounded children until somebody in the line wakes up and starts the work.
Triple another surface wind 04 6 meters per second, runway 07, clear for takeoff.
Number to go, runway 07, 5349.
In the last episode, we saw that you generate your matrix. And today, we go underneath the one doing the generating. We're going to talk about what you actually are underneath the patterns, underneath the wounds, underneath the masks you've been wearing for so long that you stop seeing them as masks. And we're going to talk about the most important teaching I've encountered in all my work, that the only thing limiting your life isn't the energy or what you feel is missing. It's actually your capacity to hold what you are meant to receive. This is where the work gets quiet, where you stop trying to fix yourself and start remembering what was always there. If you've made it this far in the series, you're not browsing anymore and you desire to go deep. Something inside you is doing real work and craving growth. This episode is for that part of you.
Coming through. On this lights and cross check.
Ran a diagnostic on the matrix of my mind. 20 years of programming, I never stopped to find beliefs and star before I had a choice in what was mine. Running every decision, every pattern, every time. Went into the settings where the truth don't lie. Found files I didn't write but still recognize. Called it personality, called it who I am. Turned out I was loyal to a program, not a plan.
Hi, my name is Mateo. I am an early pilot living in Asia and a lifelong seeker of self-development and wisdom. Welcome to Inner Navigation. Here, I take you with me through real shadow work as it happens in real life to reveal the internal mechanics behind our repeating loops and patterns and hidden design behind a human life. You'll hear my own process of transformation as it unfolds and the real tools that help me change from the inside out, because there are no mistakes in anything you live. Every pattern, every collapse, every wound is part of your soul's design. This is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering the life you came here to live, the highest version of yourself. So let's dive in.
438 established, 15 left. On our flight,
Delta 438 heavy Incheon Tower, wind 17 knots, runway 15 left.
Every adult walking around this world is a wounded child wearing masks, including the person making this episode, including me. The masks were built before you had language to question them. You wear them so well, you stopped seeing them as masks. No, you started thinking they were you. They were meant for survival. You know, the wounded child built them to be loved, to be accepted, safe in a world that didn't know how to hold the full truth of who you were. And they worked. For a long time they worked. And now they're the thing keeping you from being fully seen. The work is not to destroy the masks. The work is to see them. Because once you see them, they stop running you. And underneath every mask is a wounded child. Underneath every wounded child, there's something else, much older, something much deeper, something we're going to spend this entire episode pointing out. And let me give you an example of a mask I still catch myself wearing. I have had flights, long flights, where the conversation got really good, deep, real, and I'd watch myself fall into a trap. I tried to overspeak, trying to overshare, solve the problem for the other person, trying too hard to add value. And what actually happens every time is the opposite of connection. There's a small separation, a discomfort. The other person can feel the over effort. And the same patterns sometimes showed up with my family, for years before I had any words for it. I would know something, I would overshare, and I would just try to fix. And it still sometimes shows up when I meet a beautiful, interesting woman. My first instinct is to overshare, overtalk, overperform. And honestly, that's probably why I created this series, so I could finally have a place to talk this much. And underneath all of it, the wounded child saying, I'm not enough as I am. No, I have to perform to be valuable. The mask presents as I'm helpful, I'm interesting, I'm worth of your attention, and underneath the mask is the fear that without the performance, I won't be chosen. So the work in this moment is notice the urge starting and I pause. And that's the real work, the pause. And there's something else underneath these masks that I want to share with you, because every shadow you carry is also pointing at a gift. For those of you familiar with human design or a body of work called The Gene Keys by a beautiful spiritual teacher and poet named Richard Roth, there's a transformational path hidden in our DNA that maps 3 states of every piece of code we carry: the shadow, the gift, and the highest state, which Richard refers to as the siddhi, which is a Sanskrit word. In my case, this overperforming pattern lives on what's called the shadow of division. The shadow state is exactly what I just described, over-speaking, over-performing, creating separation when I'm trying to create connection. Then the gift state of the same line is guidance, which is the capacity to actually guide someone to share what I see in a way that opens a space instead of closing it, not performing, not fixing, not even trying to guide. And the highest state, the siddhi, is called virtue, the state where what comes out of me isn't trying to share anything at all. It's a pure transmission. It's source moving through with no performance attached to it. And this is my life's work, the transformation from division through guidance into virtue. We'll go much deeper into these types of teachings and all of these tools in the coming episodes.
Rewind, rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Gear up. Now.
There is a book by a Canadian author named Liz Bourbeau. It's called Healing Your Wounds. And in it, she maps what she calls the 5 core wounds of the soul. They are rejection, abandonment, humiliation, betrayal, and injustice. And these wounds don't just live in your mind, they even shape the literal morphology of your body. For example, the slim body, it often carries the abandonment wound, hiding so people will search for you. the way you wanted your parents to search for you when you were a child. I'm not going to go deep into all of this today. If you feel called, you can read the book. I'm planting it because the rest of the episode requires you to know and understand that wounds have structure. They have names, they have patterns. They're not random. Let me share which of these wounds I carry, because we don't carry just one. Most of us carry 3 or 4, all woven together, all reinforcing each other. And before I share them, there's an important distinction I want to make. The wounds we carry, they don't get created because our parents did those things to us consciously. They didn't want us to be wounded at all. That's not how it works. Our parents, they are not bad. Most of them, they were just doing the best they could with what they had. The wounds get created in how we as children perceive what's happening to us. The same event with 2 different children will create 2 different, completely different wounds, because childhood doesn't process events the way the adults do. Childhood process events as, what does this say about me? That's where the wound installs, in the meaning the child makes of what happened. So when I tell you about my parents in a moment, I'm not telling you what they did to me. I'm telling you what I, as a child, made it mean about myself. For me, there are 2 wounds that have marked me the most: abandonment and humiliation. The abandonment wound came mostly through my father. He was away quite a lot, and I never really had what I would call quality time with him, father and son quality time. There was a presence that was missing, and as a child, what you experience when a parent is missing is actually, I'm not enough to keep them here. That's the wound that stalls. The humiliation wound came mostly through my schooling years. I didn't like to study. I really didn't like school. I was like anti-school for a lot of years. And in Spanish, there's a word that gets used for kids like me. It's vago. It probably translates like lazy, or slacker, or someone who doesn't want to do anything at all. And I heard that a lot growing up. It was pointed at me, used to describe who I was. And as a child, when a word like that lands on you, you don't hear it as a description of your behavior. You hear it as a description of who you are. That's how the humiliation wound installs. Not from a single moment, but from 1,000 small moments where a child gets told they're less than they actually are. Now, here's something I want to say carefully. The full, deeper teaching about my soul correction, about the lack of self-worth, about the need for validation, we're going to go into all of that in the episode 9 and 10. But today, I'm just naming what's there. My parents did not do this to me. They did the best they could with the tools they were given. They carried wounds from their parents, and they passed down what was passed down to them. That's what wounded children do. They raise wounded children until somebody in the line wakes up and starts the work. And there's a teaching that will go much deeper into the final episode of this series that says, we choose our parents. Before we came here, our soul chose these exact circumstances it needed, the exact wounds, the exact parents, the exact patterns that would force it to grow it into who it came here to be. And what I'm starting to see, the deeper I go into this work, is that my soul may have needed exactly these parents. The abandonment wound, the humiliation wound, because without them, I wouldn't have come here looking for something deeper. I would have stayed asleep. We'll go deeper into all of this in episode 9 and 10. And for now, Just let the seed land. Your wounds are not random. Your parents are not random. The whole thing may have been designed.
Close runway 15 right and follow the green.
Thrust climb outer thrust.
Roger.
So, just to plant something here, among the wounds installed in me, one of the deepest ones came from my grandmother. And I want to be clear, I love my grandmother deeply. This is for teaching purposes. She is Jehovah's Witnesses, and from when I was very small, little child, what I absorbed from that environment was Armageddon is tomorrow. The world is ending, so don't dream big. That voice still lives in my body somewhere. We'll come back to her and to all that in the episode 9, or final episode of this series. Now, I want to talk about something most spiritual culture has been wrong about for decades, the ego. The popular teaching is kill the ego, transcend it, destroy it. The ego is the enemy of awakening. And what I've learned through real shadow work, the ego is not your enemy. The ego is the dense state of your higher self. It's the lower self that gets triggered. It's the protection mechanism that your wounded child built before you had any other tools to survive in this world. Without the ego, you have no idea what to grow. In every reaction, the ego gives you information. Every trigger is a flag pointing to something underneath that needs your attention. Think of it like this. The wounded child is the truth underneath the mask. The ego is the structure the wounded child built to protect that truth. They are working together. They've been working together since you were small. And the work is not to destroy the ego. The work is to recognize it as your personal trainer, the one pointing over and over at the exact places you came here to grow. I remember one time here in Vietnam, the bank I use, it closes certain transaction on holidays. And as an expat, I'm not always aware of which days. And because I get paid in US dollars, I have to convert that money into local currency to actually spend my money here. And that conversion only works during banking office hours. And a while back, I didn't know about an upcoming holiday closure. I didn't transfer the money in time, and I ended up in real problems, And here's where the ego showed up. I called the bank, triggered, frustrated, and underneath the frustration, that sense of superiority, saying things like, this is not okay, you have to solve this. And I'm a customer here, I'm an expat working in Vietnam. I was speaking to people who were just doing their jobs, people who, like everyone in a call center, like everyone behind a customer support desk, are working underneath the conditions they didn't even design. And I know that because I worked in a call center before. I worked in customer support. I know exactly what it's like to be on this other side of the phone. And in that moment, I forgot all of it. The ego took over, and I performed superiority at people who had no power to fix what I had failed to plan for. That's how the ego shows up in the small moments. Not as something dramatic, but just as a quiet voice saying, I'm above this. They should fix this for me. I deserve better than this, And underneath that voice is the same wound we'll keep meeting throughout this episode. And here's the thing I have been seeing more and more clearly. Most of the situations that trigger us are meant to teach us compassion. The people on the other side of our frustration are usually carrying things we can't see, doing jobs they didn't design, following rules that were made by someone else. The trigger is the doorway, and compassion is the work.
Triple 9 contact 100, approach 120, decimal 4, good day.
Operation 120.4, 5349.
All right, so let's go a little bit esoteric for a few minutes and stay with me if the language fields of foreign. This is the foundation that everything else in this work rests on. Different traditions describe what I'm about to share with different vocabularies. You know, the Christian calls it God, Buddhism calls it Buddha, nature, the Tao, Brahman, the creator, the all, you know, different names, same one source. Spirit is the source, the infinite, you know, the all, the thing everything came out of. Soul is the individuated fragment of spirit, your particular ray of the source, the piece of God that you specifically are. And the human experience, your body, your personality, your story, that's the vehicle, you know, the vehicle your soul uses to experience this particular reality in this particular lifetime. And there are even more layers to all of this than just spirit, soul, and body. You know, different traditions have mapped this for centuries. They describe as having 7 bodies. They call it the physical body, the astral body, the mental body, the causal body, the buddhic body, the atmic body, and the monadic body. Each one extending outward and inward at the same time. Each one a different expression of the same one thing. All of them are you. All of them are inside of you, and all of them are connected to the spirit at the source. And this connects to another of the Hermetic principles, the law of polarity, the teaching that what looks opposites are actually the same thing at different points on a single spectrum. Hot and cold are the same thing, you know, they are temperature, just at different levels, at different frequencies. Light and dark are the same thing, you know, they are light at different intensities. And spirit, soul, and body, they are the same actual thing. They are consciousness at different densities. There is no actual separation between spirit, soul, and body. They're not 3 things stacked on top of each other. They're one continuous reality expressing at different densities. Some people call them dimensions, can call them densities, same teaching, just a different word. The physical body is dense, you know, it's low, it's visible to our eyes. The mental body is faster, is less visible. The spiritual body is the highest frequency, the least dense, the most luminous. All you, all one, you know, just at different frequencies. You are not your body. You are not your personality. You are not your trauma. You are not the titles, you know, you are not your roles. You are spirit individuated as soul having a human experience. And here's the most beautiful, the most paradoxical, most disorienting teaching of this entire path. You are God, pretending not to be God. We agreed to forget who we were so we could remember. That's the game we signed up for, and the remembering, it's what we are here to do. And remember, I'm sharing my understanding, not the truth. You know, your job is to verify all of this in your own experience. So the deepest source recognition moments I've had didn't come from anything dramatic. They came in the quiet places, sometimes during a study session, sometimes in meditation, sometimes after a breakthrough during real shadow work. What I've experienced, and I'm telling you this, knowing words can fully carry it, is the source answering my prayers in real time, managing the realities around me, showing me mercy even when I make mistakes, injecting certainty into me at the exact moment I needed it. And in the breakthroughs, my body floats. Tears come from a place that isn't sadness. The boundaries inside me start to dissolve. Something that had been frozen, it opens, and I can feel clearly and undeniably that I am being touched in the deepest part of me by something that is far bigger than me. It happens when I have asked from a place of real willingness. When I have prayed, not from my mouth, but from underneath my mouth, to show me what I am not seeing, what I haven't been willing to see, what I really want to transform. Those are the moments the source meets me. Not when I ask politely, but when I asked honestly from deep inside of my heart.
Current 421, climb to flight number 380.
Most religious taught us that desire was sin, that wanting things was bad, that wanting more was greed, that wanting pleasure was something to be ashamed of. That teaching is backwards. No, the soul is made out of desire. The desire is the substance of the soul. You came here to want, to seek, to long for. Without desire, the soul has no engine. And I am not talking about selfish desire. There are two kinds of desire. The first kind is the desire to receive for the self alone, that leads to suffering. And the second kind is the desire to receive in order to share, that leads to expansion. You know, same energy, different intention, completely different outcomes. The work is not to kill desire. The work is to follow it. Desire is not the problem. Desire is the compass of the soul. It points exactly at what you came here to receive, what you came here to build, you know, what you came here to express. The work is to trust the desire, to stop questioning whether it's allowed, to stop questioning whether you deserve it, you know, to stop letting religion or culture or your wounded child tell you that wanting is wrong. And then do the real work, which is to expand the vessel until it can hold what the desire has been pointing at all along. The desire was always pointing at your highest version. The work is to grow into one of who can finally receive it. I grew up inside a religion that taught that sex outside the marriage was a sin. And as a young man, I felt that, you know, I'd be with a woman, and afterwards, I'd feel guilt rise up in my body, not because who she was, but of what I had been taught it meant. And underneath the guilt, even back then, something inside me knew it wasn't right, knew that the framing was off, knew that what I had just shared with another human being couldn't possibly be what God was punishing me for. I knew there was something sacred about that energy, something that wasn't dirty or something that wasn't shameful. I just didn't have the framework yet to name it. And it took me years to realize what was happening. The religion wasn't all wrong. You know, the sacredness was real, but the framing was wrong. The truth lived underneath the punishment frame, not against it. What religion called sin was actually one of the most powerful creative forces a human being can hold. And what I had been carrying as guilt was actually the soul saying to me, "You're touching something sacred here. Pay attention." That's what desire does. It points at what's sacred. The work is not to suppress it. The work is to follow it home.
Send to 9,000 feet, net 1010.
Here's a paradox at the heart of all of this. Desire all, need nothing. The universe responds to desire. The universe translates need as lack. Neediness pushes things away. Desire of the soul comes from completeness. It invites things to arrive. No, same wanting, different posture inside you, and completely different outcomes. And there's something the ancient sages taught, the ones who spend their lives decoding the wisdom hidden in the Torah, in the Bible, in the mystical texts that have shaped most of the spiritual tradition we know today. They thought that if you have a desire, it means the reality where that desire is fulfilled already exists. Whatever you desire, that reality is already real. There is a timeline where it is already happening. There is a version of life where you already have it. You wouldn't carry the desire if you were incapable of manifesting it. The desire is not a question. The desire is a proof that the reality is already touching you, already pulling you, already calling you into the version of yourself that can receive it. Now, here's the teaching that changed how I personally see my own life. Everyone is looking for more energy. Everyone is asking for more energy, more. We pray for it, we chase it. We want more. We want more love, more wealth, more peace, presence. And here's what nobody tells you. All of it is energy. The universe wants to give it. The universe is giving it right now. Yes, and what most people are not asking for is the capacity to hold what they are praying for. So when the energy actually arrives, the recipient can't hold it. The energy itself becomes the thing that breaks them, because for the recipient to expand, the current container has to crack open. The breaking is not punishment. The breaking is the universe expanding your capacity to hold what you asked for. And there's something else inside the teachings that we'll go much deeper into it in later episodes. But I want to plant the seed now. To receive what you're asking for, the version of you who couldn't hold it has to be willing to die. The old identity has to dissolve. The breaking is the universe expanding your capacity, and it's also the death of who you used to be. That's why the work isn't easy. You're not just asking for a better life. You're asking for the death of who you currently are. And whether you're willing to let that death happen, that's the difference between a prayer that lands and a prayer that stays at the mouth level. We'll go much deeper into all of this when we get into prayer. But for now, let this land. Every time you feel broken in your life, you were being expanded. The breaking was the answer. Imagine you give a lottery ticket worth $1 million to someone who has never done the inner work, someone who has lived their whole life in scarcity, someone whose vessel has never been built to hold abundance. So what happens? Chaos. Every time the money arrives, and within months, sometimes weeks, the person has either lost it or destroyed relationships with it, or generated a kind of suffering that wasn't there before when they didn't have the money. Because money is energy. Money is the capacity to bring things into physical matter. And when a high amount of that energy lands in a vessel that wasn't built to hold it, the vessel cracks. It's not that money is bad. It's that the recipient hadn't been built to hold what was given. And let me share when this happened to me, not with money, but with a relationship. A couple of years ago, I wanted a relationship so badly. I was lonely. I was craving connection. I wanted a partner right now. I was like trying to manifest my soulmate. And I prayed for it. I asked for it and I chased it. And what I forgot in all of that wanting was that I still had work to do on myself. And here's what I see now. Looking back, if the universe had given me my soulmate in that exact moment, I would have destroyed it, because the partner I was capable of attracting in that state of consciousness was the partner who matched that state. And what kept arriving were partners that didn't fit, partners that dragged, partners that mirrored it exactly where I was, not where I wanted to be. If my actual soulmate had walked into the room in that moment, I wouldn't have been able to hold her. No, I would have done something to push her away, something stupid, overperformed, overshared, grasped. made her small to make myself feel safe. You know, I wasn't built for her yet. The universe wasn't withholding. The universe was protecting me from receiving something I couldn't hold yet. That's beautiful, right? Compassion. That's the teaching. The energy is always available. The question is always, has the vessel been built to receive it?
Delta 3945, transit speed 900 knots or greater.
Transit speed.
The divine is infinite. There is no end to what's available. Wealth, love, peace, joy, creativity, all of it infinite. And you are not separate from that infinity. You are a fragment of it. The infinite, individuated, walking around in a particular body, having a particular human experience, a fragment of the source expressing itself through you. Which means that there is no ceiling on what you can become, you know, no ceiling on what you can hold, and no ceiling on what you can create. The only limit is your current capacity to receive, your current vessel that was built from your beliefs, your wounds, your old identity, from the mask you've been wearing for so long that you stopped knowing they were masks. And most of us are walking around with old vessel statements running underneath us. I'm not enough. I don't deserve more. Money is bad. Love hurts. I'm not safe. And the new vessel statement is something like, I am a soul learning to love better through everything I touch. Every challenge in your life has been expanding the vessel. Every breakthrough has been expanding that vessel. The work isn't to finish. The work is to keep expanding forever.
Direct to Tango Sierra 46, descend to 5,000 feet.
I want to share something that came up in a recent coaching session, real-time work, not finish healing. The first thing that came up was about smoking. A while ago, I quit smoking, and sometimes I see someone smoking on the street, and a thought of judgment arrives in my body, even before I can stop it. And I had been operating with this belief that the work was catch the judgment, you know, do not identify with it, but transform it. That was the work that I thought that I had to do. And what the teacher pointed at, and what I had not seen, was this: catching the judgment is not the final transformation. The final transformation is when the judgment never arises in the first place, when the default frequency in my body is compassion. No, not corrected compassion, but real compassion. That landed in me with a weight I did not expect, because it meant I had been settling for a half version of the work. And then we went deeper. Another everyday moment, someone with their phone at full brightness at night, because I take care a lot of my sleep, and I take care a lot of the screens and all of that. And I noticed I was doing what I have been trying to do, you know? I was injecting compassion, telling myself they are on their own journey, not everyone knows about this, they have their own process. And as I was doing it, something inside me knew the compassion was not real, you know? It was performed. And I have felt compassion before, given to me by the source. I knew what it felt like, and in that moment, I was not feeling it. So I sat with honest question: what is actually present in my body right now? Not the thought, but the sensation. And what I found underneath the performance was the feeling of superiority. My childhood installed this in me when I was very young, not on purpose. None of our parents do these things on purpose. But the program was, your father is a pilot. We have access. You are above. You know, that program installed superiority as a mask before I had any way to question it. The mask presented as confidence, as discipline, as worthiness, and underneath the mask was the exact wound saying, "I'm not enough." And here's the teaching that came out of this: the wound that says, "I'm not enough," and the mask that says, "I am better than," they are the same coin, same fear, same wound, both saying worth comes from what you have or what you know instead of from what you really are. They are inverse expressions of the identical wound. And I want to be clear, I have not dissolved this. I am in the work. Naming it on camera with you is part of that work. I want to share a recognition I've had recently. Looking at my life now from the outside, it looks similar to my life before everything collapsed. I have a good earning job. I live with a beautiful ocean view. I take care of my body. I have money. I have abundance. I have the capacity to make this content, the same blessings externally that I had before. And here is the difference, and this is the teaching. The visible looks the same, and the invisible has completely changed. Before, I was receiving into emptiness. I was receiving into the vessel that was built on "I'm not enough," trying to prove I'm better than. Every blessing landed and immediately leaked back out. My vessel couldn't hold it. Now I am receiving into a vessel that knows, even imperfectly, that it's already worthy. And I'm not receiving to prove anything. I'm receiving to channel something. And here's something I want to be honest about. Years ago, before I had language for any of this, I prayed for transformation, consciously and subconsciously. Without knowing that's what I was praying for, I didn't know the answer to that prayer would arrive as a collapse. And it did. The breaking expanded the vessel. Now the same blessings can land totally different. That breaking, which felt like the worst thing in my life at the time, was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. Because without it, I'd still be receiving into a cracked vessel, calling it all fate. And this isn't a flex. This is teaching from lived experience. And the work is the same work for everyone. Expand the vessel. Change what life can pour into you.
ILS 20 left.
Here's something nobody tells you about this work. After every real breakthrough, after the vessel actually expands, there's a phase that feels like emptiness, loneliness, longing, a hollow underneath your daily life that wasn't there before. Most people, when they hit this phase, think that something is wrong. They quit. They go back to the old patterns to fill that hollow. What I want you to know is the hollow is not lack. The hollow is space. You grew, so the light is coming. And then eventually, sometimes minutes, sometimes weeks, sometimes months later, the vessel finally fills. For me, the way it arrives is my body floats with tears and bliss, with the recognition that the source is communicating with me directly, not abstractly, not as a theory, but I can feel it directly. I am the vessel, and the source is pouring through me, and the only response my body knows is to weep. Both halves are the work, the hollow before and the fluid after. Don't quit in the hollow, and don't grasp at the fluid. Trust the curve. Here's something that becomes clear once you do this work for a while. Not all your patterns started with you. Some of what you carry came in with you when you were born. Some came down through your family line. Some, depending on what tradition you draw from, came across lifetimes. Different traditions name this differently. Ancestral wounds, tikkun olam in Kabbalah, karma in the Eastern traditions. Tikkun and karma are different mechanisms, but they're kind of linked. Whatever vocabulary you use, the work is the same. Recognize that some of what you carry, you didn't create. Recognize that you can heal it anyway. And most importantly, recognize that healing it heals more than just you. It heals the line. We're going to go much deeper into Tikkun and soul correction in episode 9. Just for now, I want to plan this. Not all your patterns are yours alone. Some are bigger than you, and that's okay. That's part of the design.
Patrick 9, contact arrival 12635.
Arrival in 126, decimal 35, at A69, I beg you.
At the end of the last episode, I came back to Asia and I moved into my father's house in Ho Chi Minh City, and I started working at the same company as him. And we sometimes sat down to drink together, you know, sometimes the way fathers and sons drink. And for the very first time in my life, I could see what was really happening. Two wounded children sitting at the table, the same table, running similar code, wearing the same mask. My father didn't do this on purpose. None of our parents do. He carries his own wounds from his father, from his mother. He's doing the best he can with the tools he was given. Seeing myself in him was both painful and beautiful. Painful because the pattern was real. Beautiful because seeing it was the first step into learning from it. And there's a beauty in sitting down with my father now and learning from his patterns, seeing my patterns reflected in him, seeing his reflected in me. That's a moment of pure beauty, realizing how much I have to learn from him, not just from his mistakes, you know, though those are useful too, but I'm finally able to give him the respect I never gave him fully, to see him as my father, not as an authority, not as someone I have to respect the way you respect a police officer, as my father. Because growing up, we didn't have much affection together, so I never connected with him the way a son connects with a father. You know, I respected him the way you respect a position, not the way you love a parent. And now, doing this work, I am able to sit with him and connect, to share with him, you know, to see him from the lens of being his son, not from lens of being a child managing an authority figure. And in seeing him clearly, I see myself. I get to see where I'm coming from, the patterns I inherited, and the code I'm running. You know, getting honest spiritually with my father, getting honest with myself about what I see in him and what I see in me. That's what's giving me the tools to actually grow. This is the work I've been doing the past 2 years or so, you know, learning, seeing, and then doing the work on what I see. This recognition cracked something open in me. The actual healing of the father wound is a work that lives later in the series. Today, I'm just naming what I saw. Before we close, 3 questions to take with you, and I'll go first on each one. What is one limitation in your life you have not been able to fully break through? And which mask in another area of your life do you think might be holding it in place? Because here's the thing, all areas of your life are interconnected. The fact that you are not able to let go of something in your relationship, for example, might be tied to a pattern you are running outside of your relationships, in your business, in your friendships, in the way you show up to yourself. Everything is connected. And I'll go first. The limitation I'm still working with is hitting the publish on this content and consistently, fully, without holding back. And the mask connected to it is the old wound of wanting validation, of wanting to be seen, of wanting to be known. I have done a lot of work on this wound, and it is not longer the consciousness I publish from. And every now and then the wound tries to resurface. There's a glimpse, a faint trace, a small voice that wants the post to go viral, wants people to recognize me, to wants to be told I'm doing something meaningful. That is the moment the word happens for me. I notice the glimpse, I pause, and I come back to the consciousness I actually came here to publish from. That I am here to share what I have been given as a part of my soul correction. The work I'm doing right now in real time is to get to the point where I build all of this from the consciousness of I am enough. I am inherently worthy exactly as I am. And whether people resonate or not, whether this goes viral or not, none of it changes the state of consciousness of what I am, because I know I am infinite. And nothing in this ephemeral world can touch that. The state is intact underneath all the noise. The second question, what is something you feel you deserve, that you feel you are ready for, that hasn't arrived yet? And what do you think the universe is trying to teach you so that reality can finally manifest? Remember, if you have the desire, the reality already exists. Somewhere that timeline is real. The question is, what is still in the way? What is the teaching the universe is moving you through so the version of you who can hold it finally appear? And I'll go first, and I'm going to go naked here. I'm doing all my work for expansion, for my soul correction, and I deeply desire a relationship. The desire hasn't stopped. I really desire it. I desire to get married. I desire to build a family. The desire is burning right now, and my ego pushes me to rush, to hunt, to go on dates, to do something, to feel the loneliness. But if I answer that pull, I'm answering my lack of self-worth. I'm answering my inability to be alone. I'm not answering my desire of my soul. I'm answering my fear. So the work I'm doing now is to sit alone, to feel alone, feel it fully, and to find my word inside of me, not in someone else's eyes. The reality I desire already exists. The fact that I'm alone right now is just an illusion. I'm here working, expanding, becoming the match for the connection I'm praying for. And the fact that it hasn't manifested yet, that's information. It means there's still work to do, still expansion to grow into. Because what I'm desiring isn't just any connection. I'm not desiring something to fill a hole. I'm desiring a real soulmate connection. Someone who walks with me, someone we build together, someone we generate realities together with, someone we work our soul correction together, someone we grow together, someone we have fun together, real connection, not loneliness, not escape. The universe isn't withholding her. The universe is building me into the version of myself who can finally meet her. And the last one, what is one desire you've been suppressing because someone's or somewhere told you that wanting it was wrong, and for me, I think we all carry this one in some form. Mine is around money, around wealth. Um, there are a lot of belief systems that get installed when we're children, when we're young. For me, it looked like seeing people who had money and feeling that they weren't good people. They believe that money makes people bad. They believe that money changes you. They believe that money corrupts. And here's what I've come to understand. Money doesn't do anything to you. Money only allows you to express more of who you already are. If a person is operating from the bottom of the pyramid we talked about in the previous episode, fear, anger, scarcity, money will amplify those frequencies. The money won't make them bad. The money will reveal what was already there. But I didn't know any of this. I believe money was bad. So even when I was earning money, I was just leaking it out, wasting it, not appreciating it, throwing it through patterns that proved my belief right. And after years of this work, after the collapse, after all the transformation, the vessel has been built differently. I now have the capacity to understand how precious what I have actually is. I have it all. I feel I have it all. And I can hold whatever amount of money is available. I can have it. I can appreciate it. Let it serve. I can let it land. And what's beautiful is every single day, more blessings keep arriving because the vessel can finally hold them. Sit with this and don't answer them in 5 seconds. They are not for now. They're there for this week.
8307, wind 250 degrees, for northern way 20 left, little lane.
Today we went underneath. We saw what you actually are. And there's a question that follows from this. If you are source individuated as a soul, and if everyone around you is also source individuated as soul, and every one of us is generating our own matrix every moment, every second, then what is being generated when all of those matrices wave together? In the next episode, we go into something most people never look at, the shadow we are all carrying together, the one that we feed every day in private while pretending the world outside is the problem. Because the world you say you hate is being fed by what you and I do when nobody is watching.
50, 40, 30, 20, recharge, 10, 5,